I'm going to teach you how to make 3 crazy simple farms, and your game is going to become easier, faster and better when you build them. A semi-automatic crop farm that's going to help you build the second one, which is a completely zombie-less iron farm, and then some cactus farm options that you can choose from depending on how much space and resource you've got available to you, which can get you lots and lots of XP. So let me show you how to make them. Oh, and I'm going to do it in survival because these are that easy. You'll be able to follow me block by block. Let's go. And first up, we're going to make a carrot farm, although if you want, it could be potatoes, beetroot, wheat, whatever you want, really. And for our carrot farm, and it can be a potato farm or a wheat farm or a beetroot farm if you want, this is what you're going to need. Really simple, very few bits and pieces. Those carrots are the maximum number of carrots you want. You could actually start with 1 single carrot if you wanted to. We've got that 1 dirt block as a temporary block. We're then going to have an extra one whilst we're making the farm because we need 2 in total. Let's crack on. And the first thing we're going to do is place 7 slabs in a line. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. We're going to come diagonally 1 and then another 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. Diagonally 1, then 7. Diagonally 1 and then 7, which should leave you with 1 diagonal between your 2 ends and 1 single slab. You're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4 along any of your sides and in 1, 2, 3, 4. And on the 5th one, we're going to dig out that block. We're going to gather that block, which gives us our second temporary block that I mentioned. We're going to place one of our buckets of water inside there, and our last slab can go on top of that. We then put our fence there, and we get our first temporary block, and we place it on top of the fence, and the second one on top of the first one. Dig out the bottom one. We'll take that back. We might as well keep it. And then we're going to grab our dispenser, and we're going to place that upside down so as it's facing in towards this post. So come crouching close and then aim at the corner, and you should find that that is pointing downwards. You can check by going all the way around. There is no face, so we know we are good. Get rid of that dirt block there as well. Grab your button. It doesn't matter what side you put your button on. Shift click onto the side, and then your last water bucket, right click and place that into your dispenser. What that means is when you press the button, that water dispenses out, and then when you press it again, the water dispenses back, and that is going to harvest all your crops for you, because sometimes it takes ages to get your crops together. You're then going to grab your hoe, and you are going to hoe everything inside your slabs. Then grab your 8 torches and place 1 torch in each corner here. Now, theoretically, you do not, again, need to use 1 torch in each corner. You could just put a torch there on the corner, but I quite like the way it looks if you've got this kind of symmetrical torch formation. It's just a little bit nicer. We're then going to grab our carrots, however many you've got. If you've got 1, just plant 1 carrot and let it grow, and then you can use what you've got there to plant up the rest of the field. But otherwise, plant up all of the carrots that you have. And you don't have to do the entire little field in one thing. You could mix it up, have potatoes, carrots, wheat and beetroot if you want. Do them in stripes and you'll find they'll grow just a little bit quicker. Or maybe do multiple patches, 1 for each type of crop. And they just need to grow up before you can harvest them. So there we have a field full of carrots, and we're going to have a right old harvest. Press the button, allow the water to do all of the work. You can then come out and press the button again and gather all of these carrots from the edges of your farm, much quicker than harvesting them yourself. Grab that and that. Have I got all of them? Yes, I have. And I have now got 4.5 stacks of carrots from that 1 stack and a little bit. And once I've replanted the entire field, I've got 3 stacks of carrots plus 15 extra. And that's quite handy because the next farm, we're going to be using some of those carrots. Let's go and make an iron farm. And that's because iron is super important in the game. And this one, you don't need any zombies or pillagers or anything like that. Oh no, we're just going to get loads of iron. To make our iron farm, this is all you're going to need, plus 2 villagers. So you might need a couple of boats to bring them in as well. Those carrots that you just got from the carrot farm that I showed you how to make are going to enable us to turn those 2 villagers into 5. Take a screenshot, pause the video, do what you got to do. Let's crack on. So the first thing I'm going to do is dig a 3x5 hole. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 there. So that's 1 deep. I want to dig this 4 deep, this being the first one. So let's go 2 and 3 and 4. Now that would have given you 60 blocks, which are going to come in handy very shortly. Then what you're going to do is you're going to place down 5 beds coming across the width like this. Doesn't matter which side you place them, just pop them down and you are going to get yourself a cobblestone slab there and a cobblestone slab there. You are then going to replace those 3, those 2 and that one. We're going to dig them out again in a minute, but we want to get some villagers in the hole. And once you've got them close, the best way to get them into your hole is to wait till night time, much like it is now, and then bash out those boats. You can do it with your hand, or if you've got an axe you can do that, and they're going to walk straight down to that bed because they love a good sleep at night time, those villagers. They may or may not use those blocks that I've put there. These guys are just kamikaze. They decided to dig straight in. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to remove these blocks and I'm going to place down myself 1, 2 slabs, and then I'm going to dig out these blocks. I'm going to place down 1, 2 and 1 there. I'm going to come out and then I'm going to dig that out, and then I can place a slab down at the bottom. I can then jump out there and pop that. They'll despawn in a minute, but those villagers are absolutely loving life right now. But there's only 2 and we need 5. Remember, this is a zombieless village. We aren't getting any mobs in here at all. It is super easy, but we do need to breed up to 5 villagers. So just wait till daytime. And once that sun comes up, those villagers will have woken up and be having a little chat. We can then throw them in these carrots and they're going to enjoy those. They only actually need 12 each, but 3 stacks, you've just done that farm. You've got loads of carrots. So 12 each will allow them to breed once. Those carrots will get consumed. That baby will grow up, and then to get another one, they need another 12 each, and another one, another 12 each. So in theory, they only need 3 lots of 24 carrots, but give them extra because they'll start sharing out anyway. And while they're going through that breeding cycle to get 5 villagers, we can do the next step, and that is digging out a trench around the side. Now, you don't have to do this, but I just think aesthetically it looks a little bit nicer. You can leave this as whatever block it is that you've got on your ground, but I just like shoving in some blocks here. I'm going to use these chiseled stone blocks because I just like the way they look. You, as I say, can do anything. Mud, stone, cobble, or just leave it as grass. It really doesn't matter. We are then going to count out from the center here. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 from the center here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. This one again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then we're going to connect all of these up by right clicking with our spade, come all the way down, connect this one up as well, right up to the edge. And then you're going to have yourself a big old square. So you should have something that looks a little bit like that. We are now going to colour in those green bits so as we've got path over the entire big rectangle. And depending on what shovel you are using, you might need more than one. If you've got a diamond shovel, then one is plenty. If you've got iron, you're going to need a second one. And this gives you something to do whilst those villagers are breeding up. They're still going. We've got 2 babies in there now, 1 more, and then they'll stop breeding because there's only 5 beds. And whilst that's happening, you can decide where is going to be the front of your farm, because that's where we're going to place a hopper. So I'm going to hit my hopper here, and I'm going to run it directly into this block. So press in like that. And if I come to the side, you might just be able to see, the nib of the hopper going into that block. So the block it's going into, get rid of that block and replace it with your chest. So for this, you'll also need a pick, or you can do it with your hand, but you won't get the block back if you do. And once that's out, place yourself a chest straight in there. Do it sideways if you want to make a double chest, but only put 1 chest in the inventory. So I'm placing my chest exactly like that. And then get yourself your walls, and we're going to place a wall there, a wall there, a wall there. Now, because this wall is a transparent block, your chest will still open. Obviously, if you came out as a double chest, it would come sideways, but it would still open. And then come all the way around. Leave yourself a gap just there, then come around. Just like that, and then put a second layer on top of that first layer of wall. Leave that gap, because you're going to go in there in a sec. Come around and finish off that wall. And then get yourself the blocks that you've just dug out, because you're going to stick a 3rd layer on the wall, and you can walk along the wall. Don't fall off. Bit of a tightrope just to get yourself all the way around a third layer of wall. When you get to the other side, you can just jump off. And if you wish to at this point, you can give them a little bit of light. It doesn't make any difference to the farm, frankly, but if you're feeling bad about putting these people in the dark for a little while, whop yourself a torch there. That will give them light. As soon as there are 5 villagers in there, we're going to cover them up with some of the dirt you've dug up. And whilst you're waiting for that, come around, take these blocks back, and then turn that back into a path block. We're nearly ready. They are loving each other again, which means hopefully we're going to see a 5th villager, a 3rd baby. There it is. That is everything we need. So what we're going to do now is we're going to cover them in, and that's the last they will ever see of the sunlight. They're going to live in this hole forever, which feels a little bit cruel, but you know what, I'm over it. Once we've covered that over with dirt, you don't have to use dirt, you could use any block you like if you'd rather something different. You're then going to get your signs. You're going to place a sign there just over the chest in the hopper. Oh, one up from that, not that one, hang on. That's going to go into that chest. One up from that one there, one there, and one right there. Well, that's going to give us this little hole at the top. You're going to stick your lava bucket in there. That is going to be where iron golems are going to be killed. And then we're going to get our water, and place it on this block right here. Now, it will flow out this way, but I'm just see that it flows all the way over and including that hopper. We can then grab a wall, place it there, another one there, and another one there. And our farm is complete. We just have to wait for those babies to grow up, everyone to have a bit of a sleep, and you're going to start producing iron. And if you want to at this point, again, it's completely optional, so it was not in the inventory, you can lob a torch on each corner just to give this area a little bit of light. Again, it doesn't make any difference to the farm, but it might be nice to just have a little bit of light when you're running up and gathering your iron later on. That's perfect. Let's wait for that thing to start rolling. Once your villagers are ready, you'll start to see iron golems spawn inside your walled garden, flow to the lava, and eventually drop iron and the odd poppy, which is collected in that chest. Now, I'll admit, this will not produce iron as quickly as a zombie or pillager-driven farm will, but it's so much more simple, can be used in peaceful mode, and you'd have to worry about capturing that zombie and getting it trapped and letting those villagers sleep whilst not looking at the zombie. It gets a little bit cranky when you do that. This one, super simple, and it will still churn out plenty of iron, especially if you're playing around your farm. Let me know in the comments below if you have a go at that one. It's really, really simple. Let's get on to the next one. This could be the thing that gets you loads of XP. Let me explain why. We are going to farm up a load of cactus because cactus gives you more XP than any other block when you smelt it in a furnace. And if you've got loads of it, you can get loads of XP as a result without a single mob in sight. To make this farm the way I do it, you're going to need all of these items. Those water buckets at the bottom there, they're for an infinite water source. There's no point in bringing more than 2 if you can just keep filling them up. And those 5 glass at the top, they're spare. I know I'm going to make some mistakes with glass, and I've not got a silk touch pick. You probably don't have either, so bring a few spares for when you fluff it up. You've got 2 stacks of slabs there. You're going to have some of those left over, but you might as well bring them all. Let's crack on with it. And the first thing I'm going to do is make my infinite water source. So I'm going to dig out a row 3x1 of dirt, grab the dirt out because I'll use them in a minute, place 1 bucket at one end, 1 bucket at the other, and then I can refill my buckets from the center. That's absolutely brilliant. I'm then going to get my sand. I'm going to come a little bit away from my infinite water source, and I'm going to create a 4x4 grid of sand where there is a gap between each sand block directly onto the floor. You don't have to build them up on top of anything. 3 and 4. Oh, let me grab that one back. 4. So we've got 16 sand there. That's ideal. I'm going to get my blocks. Don't have to be these stone blocks. You can have whatever block you want, but these are 1 diagonal gap and then the block, and then come in this side, 1 diagonal gap and the block, 1 diagonal gap and the block, and then come to the front, and I'm going to just come to this side because it's where my infinite water source is. And if you look at this line between your 2 blocks here, come backwards 1, and you're going to dig out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7, and that should take you to the very center of your 4x4 grid. Then go 1 in and dig out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, gather those up, and then the last 2, dig those out. In that, you are going to place yourself a chest like that, a double chest. You're then going to dig this other one out, and you are going to shift click a hopper into that chest. You're then going to get your stone brick stairs, and over the first So not the hopper, but the first chest next to the hopper, you're going to place your stairs just like that. You can then jump out, come to the end, dig out this last one, and we're going to place one of our water buckets at the end here, just at the bottom. That's going to flow across and into that hopper, and that last block that we had there that we just dug out is to test that hopper's pointing in. Yes, it is. We can pick that straight out. We're then going to take these blocks that we've just dug out of the ground and we're going to replace the very top layer. So we're going to keep our little water pattern going underneath up to there, and then keep that hole open because we want that to be open for our collection system. We're then going to get our oak logs, and again, you don't have to use oak logs, you can use whatever you would like, and we're going to place logs all the way between our blocks here. That's one falling into my water source. Let's come along this way. That's two, and then here that's three, and you should have just enough logs. That's four. That should use all of those up. You can then, and this is entirely optional by the way, you don't need these, you can then here, you can slap in just a little bit of decoration and in the middle, just to give it a bit more of a, just an interesting look. So we put that one there, and this one, we're actually going to put it there rather than in the center. And then on these sides, we're going to do exactly the same. One there, one there, one in the middle, and then similarly at the back here, one there, and one in the middle. Brilliant. So now we're going to get another block, and we're going to come up one, and then we're going to get our glass, and we're going to start to lay out our row of glass all the way around here. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Switch out for our block, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Switch out for the block, and then carry that on all the way around for 2 layers. So you should have something that looks a little bit like that. Obviously, you could have used a completely different palette, and that's absolutely fine. Jump down off the 3 high wall, place a block there and a block there, which is going to allow you to step up onto that block when you need to, and get your buckets filled because you're going to need them. Then come into this corner, place a bucket right there, come down, refill it, come up to the opposite corner, and place a bucket right into that corner there, and then come back and refill it. This is the last time we need to refill our bucket, and then place water in the opposite 2 corners as well. So one in there, and then with your last bucket of water, one in there. So you'll notice that that water flows all the way to the hole, but not into the hole, which is perfect. That's what we want. We can now place our cactus on top of these sands. Now you'd be forgiven for thinking you can't get your cactus on those center sand blocks. Well, you can. If you shift so you don't fall into the water, you can just reach those middle ones, just about. But it doesn't feel like you can, but you totally can. So lean in, get these back 4 on, and once you've got those 8 on, get yourself some dirt. On that dirt, you're going to place the dirt on top of the center cacti, and then you're going to get some gates, and you're going to place a gate in front of each of these dirts. Be careful that you don't fall in. Open up the gates there, and then with your shovel you can remove those dirts. You can't quite get those ones over there, but that's absolutely no problem. And then on this side, you're just going to repeat exactly the same thing. You're going to get your cacti there, 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 and there. On top of those, you're going to place a dirt. And then on these ones, you're going to place your last 4 cactus. You're then going to place a gate there, 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 and there. Open them all up. And then you just need to dig out that dirt, and you can reach the top of the dirt. If it falls on top of the cactus, it's no problem. It'll just be destroyed. If it goes into the water, that's no problem, because you'll be able to collect it up inside your inventory system in just a moment. And we come around the other side, grab these other 2 dirts off there and there. They went into my system, and then what we're going to do now is we're going to do just 1 more layer. That, and then glass all the way around, and then in each corner coming up with some more stone. I managed to do it without making any mistakes, so I didn't need these 5 spares. I was quite lucky. And this next bit you don't have to do, but I do quite like doing it because a building isn't really a building unless it's got a roof on it, right? So I'm going to come all the way around with my slabs here, and then I'm just going to go straight across and make myself a flat roof. Now you don't have to make a flat roof, you can make it slightly pitched if you wish. It's entirely up to you, doesn't matter, but I'm just going to come in with a flat roof here because I'm looking for function on this one. Then once you've finished your roof, you can come down to those blocks that you placed, dig them back out again, and your farm is complete. Although you do have one more optional thing you can do, and that's stick a torch on each of these corners. Now cacti do not need light to grow. They grow off the back of random ticks in Minecraft. So in 0 light, they'll grow exactly the same as in light 15. So it doesn't matter whether you put lights around it, but I just like to be able to see it from a distance. And that, every time the cactus grows, goes next to that gate, a bit of cactus will pop off, go into the water and straight into your chest, and you'll be able to pick it out. And then you can use it to decorate your desert, or to use it to break blocks, maybe minecarts, or to stick it in a furnace and smelt it and get lots and lots of lovely XP. It could not be more simple. You can even increase your production by sticking more levels on it, which you can add as you get more resources. You don't have to do it straight away. Just stick a hole in the floor of each level and the stuff will fall through into your collection system. You can even make one half the size with the collection system directly at the front rather than a hole. Maybe you need a smaller footprint, or you've got fewer resources. This one's just got 4 cactus pods, and you can do them in any design you like. So there you have 3 really important farms that you can make right at the very start of the game. You don't need to go to the nether, you don't need to really have collected many resources, and you don't even have to be able to get any mobs. You could do this in peaceful. If there are any farms that you like to do right at the very beginning of the game, let me know in the comments below. I'd really like to know what your opinions are, and I'll look forward to seeing you in another video. You take it easy now. Bye.